السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم فأقصى بالقلم إعلاء لشأنه ولكونه طريق العلم وتعلمه، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وإخوانه. أما بعد. أيها الأحبة, we are continuing with our lecture series regarding the scholars of Islam. For the Prophet ﷺ, he said in authentic hadith, Al-ulama hum warathatul anbiya wa inna al-anbiya lam yuwarrithu dinaran wala dirhama wa innama warrathul ilm faman akhadahu akhadha bihadhin wafir. The Prophet ﷺ, he says that the ulama are the ones who have inherited from the prophets. There is no prophet after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So the thing that is closest to prophethood is the knowledge that is with the ulama. Ikhwani fillah, tonight we shall be discussing the third of the four imams of fiqh, and that is the Imam Muhammad ibn Idris Al-Shafii, who we follow his madhab in this country of ours, in Kenya and most of East Africa and many other parts of the world. They follow the madhab of this man, Muhammad ibn Idris Al-Shafii rahimahullah. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he says, Inni ad'u Allah fi duburi kulli salali Shafi'i. Says, in every single prayer that I make to Allah Azza wa Jal, I ask Allah to forgive Imam Al-Shafi'i. I say, Allahumma gfirli wali walidayya wali Muhammad ibn Idris Al-Shafii. And so also you find the Imam Yahya ibn Sa'id Al-Qattan, Abdul Rahman Al-Mahdi, Ishaq ibn Rahaway, Abu Thawr, and so many of the scholars of Islam. They say that every salah we perform, we make dua to Allah to forgive Imam Al-Shafi'i rahimahullah. What is the status that this Imam has reached that is so great that the scholars after him, they make dua for him? One of our scholars who passed away about 90 years ago is called Ahmad Shakir. He's the one who he published the book Al-Risala of Imam Al-Shafi'i. He says, if the scholars were to follow another scholar blindly, I will suggest to them to follow blindly the Imam Al-Shafi'i. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he says, Imam Al-Shafi'i is like the sun to this world and is like good health to the body. There's no way you can survive with those two things. Khani fillah, this is our lecture for tonight. Let us know a little bit about this great Imam, the Imam Muhammad ibn Idris Al-Shafi'i. His name, Khani fillah, his full name is Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Idris ibn Uthman, Muhammad ibn Idris ibn Abbas ibn Uthman ibn Shafi' ibn Sa'ib ibn Ubaid ibn Abd Yazid ibn Hashim ibn Abd Manaf ibn Qusay ibn Kilab ibn Murra ibn Ka'b ibn Luway ibn Ghalib ibn Fir ibn Malik ibn Nadhr ibn Kinana ibn Khuzaym ibn Mudrik ibn Ilyas ibn Mudar ibn Nazar ibn Ma'ad ibn Adnan. Hence he's from the family of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. His name meets with the name of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the place of where they meet at Abd Manaf ibn Qusay. So he's from the Quraysh, from the family of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He's not from the Ahlul Bayt per se. He is Al-Muttalibi. He's from Muttalib ibn Abd Manaf. So he meets with the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. This Imam, Ikhwani fillah, was born in the city of Gaza. He was born in the city of Gaza that is known as Gaza to Hashim. Gaza to Hashim is where the great grandfather of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was buried. Hence Gaza has an important part in our Islamic history. So he was born in the city of Gaza in the year 150 of the Hijri calendar. This same year that he was born is the year which Imam died. Naam? We said before, this year Imam Abu Hanifa The same year Imam Abu Hanifa passed away is the same year that Imam Muhammad ibn Idris-Scholars rahimahullah was born in the city of Gaza. When he's about 2 years of age, his father passed away. And if a person loses their father before puberty, in Islam, that person is known as an orphan, a yatim. Losing a father, you become an orphan. And most of the greats of Islamic history were orphans. Starting with our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and you find many great scholars, even Imam Bukhari, we mentioned before, an orphan during his father died in very young age. So he was born in the city of Gaza. The fathers died. The mother says to herself, Wallahi, I fear I shall lose my son. Says, Ya bunayya, ilhaq bi ahlika fi Makkah. Let us go back to your relatives in Makkah and you learn from them. So this pious lady lives with this young boy from Gaza. They go back to Makkah so that the son can grow up with the Quraysh. So he goes to Makkah. Very poor family. This is a widow. She doesn't have much. So she goes to the Maalim in the Kutab, the Duksi in Makkah. Says, "Oh teacher, please teach my son the Quran and he will serve you whatever you need. Whatever service you require from him, any small work, he'll do for you." So the Sheikh agreed. Then he started teaching Imam Al-Shafii. And he's amazed with this young boy. Because after he finishes teaching him, he teaches the older students other verses of the Quran. And the person who memorizes it in one go, in two goes, is this young boy, Imam Muhammad ibn Idris-Scholars. So much so, when the Sheikh is traveling or when he's sick, the person who is the Kabir or the person who is leading the class is this young boy, Muhammad ibn Idris-Scholars. He never used to find any paper, any money to buy paper. He has to go to the dustbins, to the garbage area and look for papers that have been thrown away so that he can write some of the knowledge that he received. He memorized the entire Quran when he was only 7 years of age. And he was very good, Ikhwani fillah, in shooting. You say shooting arrows. Is that correct English? He was very good in shooting arrows amongst his companions. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, "Ala inna al-quwwata ar-rami." Ala inna al-quwwata ar-rami. That the strength of the Muslims is in firing. So it is incumbent upon every Muslim, upon our religion, that they should learn how to shoot. So this man, this young boy, Imam Muhammad ibn Idris-Scholars, when he used to shoot with his companions, out of every 10 shots, 9 he will hit the bullseye. 9 out of 10 he will hit the bullseye. So his mother told him, you need to go learn the Arabic language. So he goes to the Badia, to the rural areas, and he learns the Arabic language, the pure Arabic language that has not been mixed. Like that in the towns, of course, you know the towns, there are people who have come from other communities. Like the Persians have come, the Romans have come, the Africans are there, the Habash are there. So the language is not that strong of Arabic. But outside, in the Badwi, in the rural area, it's still the original Arabic language. So the Imam Shafi'i, he goes and he sits with this Arab tribe of Hudayl. And he learns from their poetry and he learns from the extant language until, Ikhwani fillah, he became the most eloquent and articulate person in his entire time. The scholars of Arabic language, they say that we do not take any Arabic poetry as hujjah, as a source of evidence past the year 130 something, except only one person we take from is Imam Muhammad Idris-Scholars. He was past this year, but we take from him. His language is hujjah, is evidence in the Arabic language. He was so eloquent and articulate in the Arabic language. He says, Imam Al-Shafii, if it was not my love for fiqh, I would have been more eloquent and more excellent in poetry than the great Arabic poet Al-Labib. So about the age of 9, he has already known the Arabic language. He comes back to Mecca and he starts, talking the fluent Arabic language, spreading Arabic poetry, and some of his family members were not very pleased with that. They said, "Oh, young boy." And one of them actually, I think, hit him with a stick. He says, "Young boy, why are you wasting your life? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you great memory, great hifd, yet you're wasting your time with this poetry and this wasting of time. Go learn the fiqh." He says, "What fiqh do I learn? Who's the great scholar of this area of the world?" They say, "The scholar in Medina, the Imam Malik ibn Anas, the Imam of Darul Hijrah. He has a book known as Al-Muwatta that was at the time the most authentic book after the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. Because Imam Bukhari was not yet born, not even written, he was not even born. So Imam Shafii, he says, who might have this book? He looks for one of the scholars of Mecca and he finds one of them has this book, Al-Muwatta, and he memorizes it, Ikhwani Fillah, in 9 days. This young boy, Ikhwani Fillah, had such an excellent memory, such a strong hifd, that if he wants to memorize a book, like a book has 2 pages, you know, the book has, if you open it, has one side and one side. He has to block one side and he memorizes this side first. When he finishes this side in like a few minutes, you know, like browsing, he has already memorized. Closes this side, memorizes this side. When he used to walk the streets, he memorized everything. So in 9 days, Ikhwan Fillah, he finished the book Al-Muwatta, that some of us, you take, you know, years to memorize such a book. So he studied under the scholars of Mecca at the time. The great scholar of Mecca at the time is Sufyan ibn Uyayna. Also the great scholar of Mecca at the time is someone called Muslim ibn Khalid az-Zinji, who was the Mufti of Mecca. This Muslim ibn Khalid az-Zinji, if you hear something called Zinji in Islamic history, these are people from East Africa. These are Bantus from East Africa. So this man was the great scholar of the people of Mecca. He was the Mufti. You know the Mufti, the one who gives fatwa in Mecca, it was this man. He had taken knowledge from Ibn Jurayj. And Ibn Jurayj had taken knowledge from Ata ibn Abi Rabah, who was also a black man from Sudan, a Nubi, who took knowledge from Ibn Abbas and Ibn Zubayr, and who took knowledge from Umar ibn Khattab and the rest of the Sahaba and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The scholars, some of them, they used to say, we have never seen someone more excellent in Salah like Imam Shafii. Imam Shafii used to pray like this man, Muslim ibn Khalid az-Zinji, who took the Salah from Ibn Jurayj, who took it from Ata ibn Rabah, who took it from Abdullah ibn Zubayr, the Khalifa of the Muslims, who took it from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who took it from Jibril alayhi salam. He was excellent in Salah. So this young boy, he decides to go to Medina to study under the Imam Malik. But he goes to the governor of Mecca and tells him, please write for me a letter of introduction to the Imam of Medina. Because the Imam of Medina had a very strong character that the people used to be afraid of him. So he gets a letter from his fellow Qurashi governor, goes to Medina and he meets Imam Malik. Imam Malik sees this young boy and is impressed with him. Says, are you going to read the Muwatta to me or you'll get someone to read for you? I prefer you get someone to read. No, he says, I will read it to you. So the Imam read it, and in an excellent manner, in such an eloquent Arabic language, the Imam Malik kept him very close to him in the sitting, in the gathering, in the mosque of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imam Malik says to him, Ya Muhammad, O Muhammad, ittaqillah wajtanib al-ma'asi fa inna sayakunu laka sha'n. Says, O Muhammad, ittaqillah, have taqwa of Allah. And this is the best advice you can give anyone in this world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَقَدْ وَصَّيْنَا الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ وَإِيَّاكُمْ أَنِ اتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. Every single prophet of Allah Azza wa Jalla says, أُعْبُدُ اللَّهِ. They say, fear Allah, have taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jalla. كذبت قوم نوح المرسلين إذ قال لهم أخوهم نوح ألا تتقون إني لكم رسول أمين فاتقوا الله وأطيعون. This was the message or the wasiyah. So he tells him, اتق الله, Number one. Number two, he says, وَاجْتَنِبِ الْمَعَاصِي, and leave any sin, big or small. Don't perform any sin. If you want knowledge to become firm, and if you want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to raise your level in this world and the year after, keep away from sinning. Do not take sin as a small thing. Like Ibn Mu'taz, he says, خَلِّ الذُّنُوبَ صَغِيرَهَا وَكَبِيرَهَا ذَاكَ التُّقَى وَاصْنَعْ كَمَاشٍ فَوْقَ الْأَرْضِ يَحْذَرْ مَا يَرَى لَا تَحْقِرَنَّ صَغِيرَةً إِنَّ الْجِبَالَ مِنَ الْعَصَى. Do not look down upon these small sins, because a mountain can be formed by small pebbles. Small pebbles can form. So he tells him, وَاجْتَنِبِ الْمَعَاصِي فَإِنَّهُ سَيَكُونُ لَكَ شَأْنٌ. I read from your face and from your actions that you will surely be a great man. So he studies under the Imam Malik in Medina, the Muwatta, until the Imam passes away. Imam Shafii is in Medina, the year 179 of the Hijr calendar. So he is taken from the knowledge of the people of Hijaz. He says, لولا سفيان بن عيينة ومالك بن أنس لضيع علم العلوم من الحجاز. He says, if it was not for Sufyan ibn Uyayna, the Imam of Mecca, and Malik ibn Anas, the Imam of Medina, knowledge would have been lost in this holy area, in these holy cities. So he's taken from the people of Hijaz, who are famous for being the people of Hadith, the people of Athar, the madrasa, or the opinion of people taking the Hadith. Thereafter, he goes to Yemen for a while. There he has some interesting experiences. For example, he had studied a book known as Al-Firasa. Al-Firasa, Ikhwani Fillah, is if when you read someone's face, you can tell someone's behavior or character based on just reading his face. You just see someone for the first time and you know this person is of such and such and such a character. So he had read this knowledge. So in Yemen, he sees a man who has a particular type of body structure. Number two, he is blonde. Number three, this man has blue eyes. Imam Shafi'i, based on what he's learned from knowledge of reading people's faces, he says that this man is not a good man. I better keep away from him. But this man goes and greets Imam Shafi'i and welcomes him in the best of manner. He says, I have a place you can stay. Welcome, O Imam. And he welcomes him. And the Imam stays in Yemen, in the residence of this house. He is served well, he's taken care of well. Imam Shafi'i says, what is this knowledge of reading faces that I studied? There's no benefit in it. After 3 or 5 days he has stayed there. He says to this man, Shukran for your hospitality. You are an excellent man. If you come to Mecca, make sure you ask for Muhammad ibn Idris. I will surely pay back the good you have done to me. He says, okay, that's okay. But you have a bill to pay. He says, what is this bill? He says, you stayed for X number of days. Each day I'm charging you 1 dinar. He says, the price is not even that much. 1 dinar is a gold coin. A gold coin is about 4 grams. 4 grams, and in one night you're charging me about 40,000 Kenya shillings, about 300 and something dollars. How is that? He says, that's not only that, I gave you food, you pay for it. I gave you a pillow, I gave you a drink of water. That 1 hour, 2 hours I spent doing this and this and this. He's brought a long bill. Imam says, Wallahi inni ashhadu annaka min akhbath nas. I bear witness that you're one of the worst people I've met in my entire life. And he pays the money and he leaves. After that, he goes to Iraq to study under the companion of Imam Abu Hanifa. For Imam Abu Hanifa had 2 great companions. Abu Yusuf al-Qadhi, he had a companion known as Abu Yusuf al-Qadhi, and also Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Shaybani. So he goes to study under Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Shaybani rahimahullah and studies under him. He becomes even more famous than his sheikh because of his excellent memorization. People become jealous of him. And they try causing a fitna, so much so that the Khalifa Harun al-Rashid has Imam Shafi'i taken in prison and thrown in jail. A few days or weeks or months later, Imam Shafi'i is brought. Says, we have heard that you want to overthrow the government because you're from Quraysh, that you're claiming that you want to be the leader of the entire Muslim world because you're from Quraysh. He says, Wallah, I have no such intention. And you can ask my Shaykh who's beside you, Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Shaybani, who was spending on me in seeking knowledge, if I had such an intention. He will surely know. Says, Wallah, this young man has just come to study the deen and he has no political intentions. So Imam Shafii rahimahullah, he studies under the people of Iraq, and he also starts teaching many of the people of Iraq. From amongst his famous students in Iraq, Ikhwani Fillah, is Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. So all these four madhabs are connected. There should be no conflict amongst us as Muslims. Imam Abu Hanifa had two students, Abu Yusuf and Muhammad ibn Hassan. Muhammad ibn Hassan studied under Imam Malik. Imam Malik is the Shaykh of Imam Shafii. Imam Shafii's Shaykh is also Muhammad ibn Hassan. Imam Shafii is the Shaykh of Ahmad ibn Hanbal. So all these madhabs are connected. So why should we have conflict between of madhabs? I understand, Ikhwan Fillah. There's that connection between all the four madhabs. Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i, and Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. So from his famous students, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, who prays for him every salah. Then you have Ishaq ibn Rahowi, also the Imam. You have Al-Humaydi, Abu Bakr, Abdullah ibn Zubair from the scholars of Makkah. You have Al-Karabisi. You have Al-Za'farani. You have many greats of Islamic history who are his students. So he studies and he teaches the people of Iraq. One day he goes to the house of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal and he eats supper. He eats all the food he's given Imam Shafi'i. After that, he goes to his room and does not wake up for Qiyamul Layl apparently. So the young daughter who had the father Ahmad bin Hanbal always praising Imam Shafi'i wonders how, number one, he overate. Number two, I didn't see him praying Qiyamul Layl. Number three, he comes out at Fajr time, he has not taken wudu. So she wonders, tells the father, Father, please find out why this Imam is not like what you told me about. So the father goes to the Imam and in a way of wisdom finds out that this Imam did not sleep the entire night. He was thinking about a single hadith of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, where the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam says, Ya Aba Umair, ma fa'ala al-Nughayr. O Abu Umair, what has Nughayr done? And he says, from this hadith, I have gotten 72 benefits. O Abu Umair, what has Nughayr done? This is at the time of Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, there's a boy from the family of Anas ibn Malik radhiallahu anhu, who is called Abu Umair. He was playing with a bud, and that bud, after a few days, it died, and the boy was crying tears. So the Prophet ﷺ was joking with this young boy and asked him, Ya Abu Umair, ma fa'ala Nughayr. The entire night Imam Shafi'i says he was thinking about this one single hadith. That's not even half a line, when you write the line. It's not even, it's like 5 words or 6 words. He says, first benefit, it is allowed to give a child a kunya. You can call that young boy Baba Sulaiman, the father of Sulaiman, when they're still very young. The second benefit, you can give a bird a name. The third benefit, it's allowed for Muslims to play with birds. Number 4, you're supposed to play with children. Number 5, the excellent character of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He got over 72 benefits from this hadith. That's the reason he didn't sleep the entire night. If he didn't sleep, of course he didn't break his wudu. And seeking knowledge is better for you than even the Qiyamul Layl. The best nafila or the best voluntary act of ibadah is seeking knowledge. Such was Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah. Some people of Iraq had a lot of fitna and jealousy for this Imam, for he had a very strong memory. He had a very strong memory. So he leaves Iraq, he goes back to Mecca, teaches the people of Mecca. Thereafter, Ikhwani Fillah, he leaves and he goes to Egypt, where he'll spend the last years of his life. Before we talk about how he spends the last years of his life, Ikhwani Fillah, this Imam, in the month of Ramadan, he will also complete the Quran 60 times. Once during the day and once during the night. He was a person of the Quran also. completing the Quran in the month of Ramadan how many times? 60 times. And it said he was completing it in prayer. Number two, sometimes the leaders will give him donations and gifts. Once he was given like 50,000 dirham, silver coins, or dinar, gold coins. Within a day, all that money is finished. He has distributed to the students of knowledge, to the fuqara, to the masakin, to the widows, to the orphans. He was very generous. Very generous, ikhwani fillah. That was an attribute of Imam Al-Shafii. Also very articulate, as we mentioned, the Arabic language. Very good in archery. He was very eloquent and very intelligent. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, when he was in Mecca, he says to his colleagues, let us go study under this young boy from Quraysh. The people say to him, why are you going to this young boy, yet you have a great scholar like Sufyan ibn Uyayna, who Allah has given, he has reached almost the age of 100, Imam Sufyan ibn Uyayna. And he has hadith where between him and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is only two people. Let's take knowledge from Sufyan ibn Uyayna, so we get the hadith with a high level. He says, if you lose the hadith of Sufyan ibn Uyayna from a high level, you get it from a lower level. But if you lose the intelligence and you miss witnessing the intelligence of this young scholar from Quraysh, indeed you will have lost everything. So Imam Ahmad used to love this man so great. So Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah, he's told by the people of Iraq, why are you leaving us, O Imam? Says, I'm going to Egypt. That is where Allah has written for me my death. I don't know how they used to know that. Perhaps Allah showed them in a dream. So he goes to Egypt, and there he has the new madhab. He changes some of the opinions that he had in Iraq. So there is something known in the Shafi'iyah, in our madhab of the Shafi'i, known as the new madhab of Imam Muhammad Idris al-Shafi'i. There is the old opinions and there's the new opinions. So we, most of the Shafi'i, we follow most of the new opinions, except for a few from the old opinions. So he comes there and he has students, Al-Rabi', Al-Muzani, and Al-Buwaiti. These are the three great scholars of Egypt, and they were his students. From the interesting thing about Egypt is like they're very rebellious. They had a scholar in Egypt known as Layth ibn Sa'ad al-Fihmi. This man was even more knowledgeable than Imam Malik in Medina. He used to have letters between Imam Malik and Imam Layth ibn Sa'ad. We shall talk about him in the forthcoming lectures, Imam Layth ibn Sa'ad. But the people of Egypt did not follow the madhab of Imam Layth ibn Sa'ad. His madhab died. They follow the madhab of Imam Malik. So when Imam Shafi'i comes, the people are very happy and very glad that a student of Imam Malik has come. And also following the madhab of Imam Malik. Short while later, they discover that Imam Shafi'i is going against Imam Malik in some opinions. He's not following the madhab of Imam Malik strictly. He has some opinions where he goes against Imam Malik. So they cause a lot of fitna and problems for him until the Imam is expelled from Egypt. Then he comes back later. And his students increase in number, that the people who's following the madhab of Imam Malik, they reduce. They become so angry and jealous, some of them. One of them is called Ashhab ibn Abdul Aziz. He says, Wallahi, in every salah, I pray to Allah to give death to Imam Shafi'i. Imagine that level of jealousy that you're praying for someone to die from amongst the scholars. Some of them, they bring up a false hadith. They says, سيخرج من هذه الأمة رجل اسمه محمد إدريس هو شر من الإبليس. There shall be a person who will come out of this ummah. His name is Muhammad Idris. He is more evil than the Iblis, because of the blind following of the madhab that the deen does not allow. Imam Shafi'i says, if hadith is confirmed, that is my madhab. And for us, all the Muslims, we say the same thing. If you have a scholar saying one opinion and the hadith say the other opinion, who will you keep first? The Prophet ﷺ or the scholar? The Prophet ﷺ. Yes, that scholar might not have heard of this hadith. Possible? Perhaps he might have thought that this hadith is not authentic. Is that possible? Perhaps he didn't understand the hadith well. He didn't see this point of benefit based on, there's so many other excuses you can give to them. But the thing that you do not accuse most of our scholars is that they do not reject the hadith of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ intentionally. They don't do that intentionally. But you have had the hadith that says X, Y, and Z, but you choose not to follow that hadith because of your desires. You say, Inna wajadna aba'ana ala ummah. We found our fathers doing such and such, and we shall be following them. That's not the case. So Imam Al-Shafii rahimahullah, he lived in Egypt, went through a lot of trials. As the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, Ashaddu nasi balan al-anbiya thumma al-amthal wal-amthal, that the person who is given a lot of trials in the deen or in this world are the prophets, and then the people who are close to that in Iman. So all of us will be given trials based on our Iman. So he died, the Imam Al-Shafii rahimahullah, in the year 204 of the Hijri calendar, and he passed away and was buried in Egypt. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on the great Imam Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i. He died the year that his student turned the age of 40. We mentioned this previously. Who is this student of Imam al-Shafi'i that will become the Imam of the Muslims thereafter, that started teaching at this age? Who is that Imam we mentioned previously? Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. So Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal became the ulama of the Muslims after Imam Shafi'i died, from the year 204 until the year 241 when he passed away. So if Imam Ahmad was 40 in the year 204, which year was he born? If he was 40 in the year 204, which year was he born? Simple, 164. 164 of the Hijri calendar. So Ikhwani fillah, this is one, even sometimes Ikhwani fillah, if you look at the great scholars of hadith especially, you'll find many great scholars of hadith, they follow the madhab of Imam Shafi'i. Ibn Khuzaymah, Imam al-Imma, Imam ad-Daraqutni, Imam al-Bayhaqi. Continue, Ibn Salah, who has the most important book in Mustalah Hadith. Imam al-Nawawi, Ibn Kathir, al-Dhahabi, al-Mizzi, Ibn Hajar, al-Suyuti. Find many scholars of hadith, they follow the madhab of this great Imam al-Shafi'i. Sheikh Muhammad ibn Nasruddin al-Albani, one of the great scholars of hadith in our century, he was asked which madhab is closest to the sunnah. He says the madhab that is closest to the sunnah is the madhab of Imam Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i. So it is time, Ikhwani fillah, that we know of this great Imam and his great contribution to Muslims, that he passed away in the year 204. We are currently in the year 1446, which is about 1,242 years after he passed away, and we still remember him and we make dua to him. Will I and you be remembered even after 10 years after we pass away? Live 1,200 years. Will you be remembered? What legacy are we going to leave? This is our lecture for tonight. Imam Muhammad Idris al-Shafi'i. Inshallah, tomorrow night, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us health, we will be talking about the fourth Imam, and that is Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal al-Shaybani. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.